Welcome back to Newsmax. Good to see you again.
Good to be with you.
Great to be with you. And how are you and Speaker Johnson? You guys are true blue, right?
No, he's a good man. Was a member of our committee. Just a solid Christian guy who, skilled lawyer, argued cases in front of the Supreme Court, was chairman of the Constitution Subcommittee, critical subcommittee of the overall Judiciary Committee. So Mike and Kelly, just wonderful people. In fact, Polly and I, 3 years ago, we went to Israel with Mike and Kelly, had a wonderful trip. Just a good person who I think is going to do a nice job as our speaker.
That's awesome. And I think you employed him very well at the Judiciary Committee. Hey, tomorrow, Joe Biden is meeting with President Xi in San Francisco, which seems a little bit odd, all the way across the country to meet Xi, a little bit closer to China. And I'm wondering, let's face it, it looks like the Chinese have all kinds of stuff on Joe Biden, all kinds of weird conflict of interest here, millions of dollars coming into the Biden family. You think he's going to represent us well tomorrow, Joe Biden?
Well, I hope. He is our president. You want to root for our president. But if the last 2 years and what is it now, 10 months are any indication, he probably won't go. It probably won't go well. Tell me one thing that the Biden administration does. I always say this, we went from a secure border to no border. We went from safe streets to record crime. We went from $2 gas to $3, $4, $5 gas. We went from stable prices to record inflation. We have the federal government being turned against we, the people, going after the very citizens it's supposed to serve. And of course, President Trump projected strength. And now in this administration, we have Joe Biden, who does anything but that. So I don't expect a whole lot, but let's hope there's something positive that comes out of this meeting in San Francisco.
Where are you right now on impeachment? It seems like, there's an inquiry, or there was, and, let's face it, he's probably not going to get convicted in the Senate. How do you feel about it? Should it be done?
Well, we are in the, part of our oversight duty is now we're in this stage of impeachment inquiry. And look, you have the Ways and Means Committee who had the whistleblowers come forward. And the IRS whistleblowers, their story has stood up. We've deposed now 7 different people as part of David Weiss's investigation. And the one takeaway from all those depositions is that the whistleblower story, Mr. Shapley, Mr. Ziegler, nothing has been undermined by what these other folks we've talked to have told us. And then so we're looking at how David Weiss handled the investigation. And of course, Chairman Comer and the Oversight Committee are looking at the suspicious activity reports, the bank records, the selling of the brand, which was Joe Biden, the access to him. So we're going to continue to do our work. We got a number of interviews and depositions we have to do this month and next month. And then I think in early next year, January next year, we make a decision based on the facts and evidence. Do we actually have articles of impeachment that should be filed? And do we move forward with impeachment? But it'll be driven, unlike the Democrats 4 years ago, this will be driven by the facts and the evidence.
And when you're driven by the facts and the evidence, it takes longer, correct?
It does, but here's the central theme, Greg, and I think the Burisma, the Ukrainian energy company, and Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's involvement with that sort of tells the whole story. This story is truly as old as time. You got a politician who takes certain actions that benefit his family financially, and then there's an effort to conceal it and sweep it under the rug, which is what I believe David Weiss and his investigation was. But when you look at Burisma, 4 key facts. Hunter Biden's put on the board of Burisma, fact number 1. Fact number 2, he's not qualified to be on the board. He told us himself in an ABC interview. He said he got the job because of his last name. Fact number 3, the Burisma executives asked Hunter Biden, can you weigh in? Can you help us? We're under a lot of pressure from the prosecutor in Ukraine. Can you help us? Immediately after getting that request, Hunter Biden gets on the phone, calls his dad. Fact number 4, Joe Biden goes to Ukraine and says, I will hold up American tax dollars, won't send them, even though it's been approved. I'm going to hold that up until you fire the prosecutor and relieve this pressure that Burisma's under. Frankly, that's exactly what they went after President Trump for. Turned out it wasn't true with President Trump, but it sure looks like it's accurate when you look at Joe Biden and how that benefited his family.
And all that would suggest that tomorrow when he meets with President Xi, he's not going to be able to do it fully and effectively for the American people because, just like Ukraine, he's got a lot of entanglements over there in China, and you're wondering what he's thinking about first. Hey, do me a favor, take a look at this. Yeah. Governor Newsom getting ready for the big visit from the Chinese president.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true because it's true. But it's also true for months and months and months prior to APEC, we've been having different conversations. And we've raised the bar of expectation between the city, the county, and the state.
Wow,
And
they raised the
fellow
bar.
partners.
Listen, I can't believe the Democrats are impressed with this guy. I found it personally insulting that they're getting ready for the Chinese leader, yet the border is wide open, filth and homelessness encouraged and tolerated.
Plus, just the way he said it. He said it's true because it's true, and then it's true. I mean, how many times can you use the word? I mean, that didn't make any sense to me, just the way he said it. But, so for a foreigner, you can clean up your town, but for the citizens who pay taxes and who live there and run businesses and have families there, you can't do it for them? You're just going to, look up for what did he say? Look at ways to raise the bar, I guess. I mean, this is California where they have the highest tax burden. They got people leaving that state, going to states with a lower tax burden and more freedom. I think that sort of tells the whole picture.
So overall, how are things in the Congress right now? Let's face it, it's been a bit of a chaotic time. Not nearly as bad as the border, but you got the fake news bothering you, covering every little change and every little feud. But overall, you guys have the bandwidth to get the business done, right?
Yeah, I think so. Look, we're focused on doing the work of the American people. We're particularly focused on this investigation. We released a report 2 weeks ago that I think shows just how bad the censorship effort was, what some have called the censorship industrial complex, big government working with big tech. But in this situation, it was even worse. It was big government, big academia, Stanford University, University of Washington, working with big tech to censor Americans. It was disproportionately done to conservatives, 10-1 to conservatives. And you had the federal government, think about this, the federal government actually in 2020 undermining the president. So the people they're undermining the guy they're supposed to work for. That was happening with DHS and working with this election integrity partnership at Stanford University. So that was an important piece that we think we got out there and showed just how bad this censorship effort truly was.
And that you've exposed them, you think they're going to try it again?
Well, you always got to keep your eye on big government and big universities. But it's interesting. There have been a number of stories written, Greg, where they say, like, oh, we're going to have to stop this because the Judiciary Committee is looking into us. It's costing us money to hire lawyers to go for the depositions. Well, good. We don't want you censoring Americans' First Amendment free speech rights, for goodness sake. So here's another example. The IRS announced 3 months ago they will no longer be making unannounced visits to American people's homes. And Danny Warfel, the commissioner of the IRS, said, we're doing this for the safety of our agents. Baloney. They're doing it because we caught him knocking on Matt Taibbi's door while he's testifying in front of our committee. And we caught him in that. And they're like, oh, sugar, we better stop this. So just sometimes by getting the truth out there, exposing what they're doing, you can have a real impact as well.
Awesome. Yeah, and that was wild what they pulled with that journalist. Congressman Jordan, we appreciate it so much. Continued success. Hang in there. I know it's tough sometimes. We're so grateful. And we'll be right back.
Thank you.